Health biology and biodiversity. Almost all living organisms are dependent to their environment to live and reproduce. Basic needs of living organisms such as air, water, food, and habitat are provided by its environment. The evolution of human beings was due to the improved access of these basic needs. Advances in agriculture, sanitation, water treatment, and hygiene have had a far greater impact on human health than medical technology. So, sa environment po natin, meron siyang advantages. Like, syempre, nakakatulong po siya sa atin, lalo na po yung air, yung water. Pero, meron din po siyang disadvantages. And lack of basic necessities is a significant cause of human mortality. Environmental hazards increase the risk of cancer, heart disease, asthma, and many other illnesses. These hazards can be physical, such as pollution, toxic chemicals, and food contaminants, or they can be social, such as dangerous work, poor housing conditions, urban sprawl, and poverty. Yung mga unsafe drinking water po and poor sanitation hygiene is responsible for a variety infectious of diseases. And kagaya po yun ng schistosomiasis, diarrhea, cholera, meningitis, and gastritis. Noong 2015, approximately 350,000 children under the age of 5 and 1.8 billion people use drinking water na contaminated po ng feces or yung tae. And that's unsafe for people. And more than 2 billion people lack access to basic sanitation. The interrelation between human health and biological diversity is considerable and complex. With the current biodiversity loss at unprecedented rates, the delicate balance between human health and biological diversity is at risk. Environment-related illnesses. Some human illnesses that are found to be related with its environment include Parkinson's disease, heart disease, cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, diabetes, obesity, occupational injuries, and dysentery, arthritis, malaria, and depression. By contrast, activities that promote health and extend human life could have adverse environmental effects. For example, food production causes environmental damage from pesticides and fertilizers. Soil sanitation, waste produced by livestock, carbon emissions from food manufacturing and transportation, deforestation, and overfishing. And to prevent some diseases, it may be necessary to alter the environment. Interestingly, according to the expert, climate change could also have a serious impact on human health. Biodiversity increases resilience. Safeguarding of coral reefs, for instance, is essential to reduce risk of floods, as this extraordinary ecosystem can reduce wave energy by 97%, thus protecting over 100 million people all over the world. A significant percentage of global climate change is due to the human production of greenhouse gases, greatly increasing taxes on fossil fuels. If familiar po kayo sa mga building na yung mga gas nila is lumalabas sa chimney nila, and yun po yung isa sa mga nagiging toxic po sa mga greenhouse gases or tinatawag na greenhouse gases. And isa po yun sa mga nakakaapekto ng climate change. Lalo na po kung yung building na yun, tinayo siya sa populated area, lalo na po sa mga may hirap na lugar o yung mga poor areas natin. And nagkakaroon po tayo ng greenhouse gases. And it is bad po sa health ng mga tao. For example po, yung factory, yung mga power plant, or yung waste dump, or yung regulating safety in the workplace to minimize impact to the society. So, kailangan po meron sila mga safety rules or standards para po mag-decrease yung pwedeng maging effect nun sa health ng mga tao. When drafting and implementing environmental health regulations, it is important to consider vulnerable subpopulations. Vulnerable subpopulations po is a group with an increased susceptibility to the adverse effects of an environmental risk factor due to their age. So sila po yung mga matatanda, yung mga may sakit, may mga health status, and iba pa pong condition. Mandatory treatment, vaccination, or diagnostic testing, isolation and quarantine, and disease surveillance. Ayun, so isa po yun sa mga kailangan ipatupad if ever magtayo man po ng building sa isang lugar para po sa health ng mga tao. For example, the owner of a coal building power plant must deal with many laws concerning the operation of the plant, workplace safety, and carbon emissions. Human rights issues also come up with research on environmental health that involves human subjects. Since the late 1990s, some pesticide companies have tested their products on human subjects to gather data to submit to the government for regulatory purposes. Others have argued that the experiments, if properly designed and implemented, could produce important benefits to society by providing useful knowledge about the effects of pesticides that lead to stronger regulations. With this in mind, mitigating plants and a workable plan of action should be studied in order not to compromise biodiversity, while at the same time promote good health among the society. So, yun lang po. Meron po tayong quiz after nito. And pakisagutan na lang po tong 3 questions na to. And pwede po siyang ipasa sa akin kay Rian o kaya po kay Mauji. Thank you po.